You're listening to the Truck Talk with Trivista podcast, brought to you by TrivistaCompanies.com, the ultimate source for all things trucking, and sponsored by Louisville Masonry and Stone in Louisville, Kentucky, where beauty and function meet. I'm Anita Massey, Director of Marketing for Trivista Companies. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're in Altoona, Iowa, and we're at the Trivista Companies dealership in Altoona. And we are here with Brent Hendricks, who is our new and used truck sales manager, and Eric Gemski, who is our used truck sales specialist. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, happy to have you.
Glad to have you guys.
Yeah, appreciate the time and look forward to having this discussion. So I understand that we are getting into a new segment, the Extreme Duty Severe Service segment, which I think focuses on the HX. Is that right?
Correct. There's an HV as well, which is a lighter version for a different segment of just how heavy you want to go, the needs you need to meet. And some people don't need a heavy duty.
Okay. Why don't you, if you can, Brent, maybe talk about just the value that Trivista brings to this segment?
Sure. So this truck model, the HX, was developed in the 60s and designed for the heavy, severe oil field industry as a drill truck, as a service truck to the oil field. So it was over-designed to meet the rugged off-road applications. It has a wide variety of available accessories. So if you need 3 extra pusher axles or a tag-along, you can do that. It can go up to 600 and some horsepower, 650, I think. Comes with a 15-liter Cummins engine or an A26 as well. There's value to each of those versions. You can do an Allison automatic transmission, or you can do a manual, or you can do an automated. So there's a way to match whatever your demand is. You can even do a heavy haul version with extra drivetrain. So
yeah, they did a great job tailoring it to anybody's specific needs.
Right.
So with a 13-liter engine, you can be lighter, haul a little bit more. You can do the X15, heavier duty engine. People like the name Cummins. Allison transmission with a true automatic. First, competitors are running automated manuals, which they're good, but nothing like an Allison.
Right. And I understand you may have just sold one of these?
I did. I recently just sold the first one in Iowa for locally, HX Cummins with an Allison, and the customer really liked that we had an Allison and a Cummins. Yes, for a dump truck. We've got HXs out and about, plows, and
even sleepers.
Yep, sleeper.
For tractor versions, pulling trailers.
Okay.
The double frame matters when it matters, and if you need that extra kind of capacity for heavy haul, anything over 120,000 pound is considered a heavy haul. So we need to have a set of accessories or attention to those needs, the front axle weight, all of those demands.
So that's the extreme duty part.
That's
it's
the
addressing
extreme duty.
Okay.
Yeah.
So specifically, since I don't really know that much about that particular line of trucks, what's the difference between the extreme duty and just a regular severe service dump truck? One of you guys want to talk about that?
Well, I would call an extreme duty more along the lines of your quad axle dump trucks. Anybody that's going off into rugged terrain, construction, you're in and out of big potholes and going in and digging up ground and putting it would be more extreme. Versus heavy duty.
There's frame twisting as well as weight distribution. So you need a front axle that's heavy enough to distribute that load to the front. The truck that we've got here is considered a set back axle, so we can do that for a sharper turning radius, or you can do it out front for a longer wheelbase. So literally, there's 1,000 ways to build this truck, and it's designed for that with the double frame, a heavy rugged logging and all the rest.
Okay, so you really do customize it for each customer's needs, whatever their particular application is.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
And then international with the Diamond Logic electronic system, you can literally tailor it to anybody's needs. You can communicate back and forth with several different components at the same time.
Okay.
So it really works good for the plows, the fire trucks, people that have multiple signals coming from all over the truck.
Sure.
And that Diamond Logic lets everything work simultaneously.
Right,
Smooth.
right.
And at the same time, it's still got the N2 unit, so it can be sending the data back for the engine. If there's a code that's flared.
Right.
If you're driving over the road with a tractor, it can tell you where the next location is to get it serviced, and it alerts that dealership so that they can be prepared for you when you show up.
Right. So from the service perspective, our guys, I know they're highly certified and expert in all things diesel engine, but I mean, as far as this particular extreme duty extra package, I guess you could say, they're able to handle that no matter what the issue is that comes into the shop.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So it's a combination of the parts that we have in hand for both the Cummins or the A26 engine, plus the transmission, plus any of the componentry for the rest of the truck.
So since we just started into this new market, and you've already sold one, are you planning to, is this just going to be a for sale truck, or is this going to be something that we can also add to the lease and rental offerings as well?
We're working on it right now.
Okay.
I've got a deal working right now with our Ideal Lease side,
Okay.
seeing what it takes to get into that market. Because
That's pretty
locally
cool.
here in Iowa, that's directly what we're competing against. We have some other OEMs that have the lease and rental option. So the customer that I sold the truck to, concern was, what if my truck goes down? Do you have a backup? We don't. And he bought the truck. So this is the first truck he bought versus leasing.
Right.
So right now we're in the infancy steps of figuring out what we have to do and what the service is going to take and how much we got to charge and make sure everybody is happy and covered.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to get to that point. I'm hoping within the next year, hopefully sooner.
Okay.
Yeah, some of it has to do with availability,
Right.
and meeting those needs. Some of it has to do with what does that customer, in this case, usually has a 3-year cycle on his lease, and so that's a rhythm that we're trying to accommodate as well. We've got a lot of, and some of this varies by what they're trying to do. So if they're hauling for asphalt or if they're running from a quarry to a pile, that's different than if you're running off-road into a construction zone and doing different labor. So you have to build the truck based on their expectation. 70% of the time it's going to be doing this action. So that gets into, like with a lease, where it's a contract for, we know how often you need an oil change. We know we're going to do this amount of service, greasing, and whatever is necessary to make sure your truck is tip-top shape for the next run.
Okay. And so do we have any inventory in stock at this moment, or are you expecting more to hit the lot soon?
Nope and nope.
Nope and no. Okay.
Because of the allocation, we don't have
Okay.
any stock units that are on order. Everything that we've got on order is committed.
Mm-hmm.
We do a fair number, a couple of hundred units in that segment.
Okay.
Some of them are DOT trucks. Some of them are garbage packers. So in that HVHX segment, our allocation is set, and we're into 24 model year now.
And that's what's pushing along the Ideal Lease. So the lease has slots open.
Right.
So for me to get these guys a truck for next year, because our slots are full through 2024, so for next year, so we can pitch these full service leases and still sell a truck that way and generate business coming in. Yeah. So
a different version that Eric sold was for a directional drilling company, and so he's got a straight truck for them, right?
Big double frame flatbed, hauls water, big water tanks, and a
Okay.
big drill. So they do underground utilities.
Yeah, so it's a heavy load,
Right.
plus pulling a trailer. And so, you build that truck specific for that application.
Right.
And that's coming in pretty quick.
Yeah, it should be
And this
pretty
is going to
quick.
be available to all the Trivista locations, right? Not just Iowa.
Correct,
This is going to be
correct.
company-wide. Okay. Well, if someone is interested or wanted to learn more about those trucks, who could they contact to learn a little bit more, or maybe look at a demo or just learn more information about that truck?
Yeah, they can contact any sales at Trivista, but I'd be happy to help them.
Sure, give them your
Gemski,
contact.
cell phone number 515-360-2813. That's my direct line. If anybody has questions or comments, feel free to call me or text me there.
All right. Well, is there anything else that I haven't asked about or that we need to talk about as far as this extreme duty severe service truck?
I think we covered most of it, and we're still learning too. So,
Yeah.
It's kind of the beginning of really getting into this industry. So we got a lot of learning to do still yet. But
Yeah, there's a lot of applications. Anything from a cement mixer to a tank trucks. We sell the cabin chassis for tank trucks. So this application is literally about anything that you can come up with.
yeah, limitless.
Sounds like really good for like municipal government
a lot of
applications.
them.
Yeah, a
roll
lot of
into
construction.
plows. Yep.
A lot of construction.
Construction, plows.
Okay.
Really anything. And,
Okay.
and now they just started putting it into a sleeper. So that just happened within the last year, and we had one out on our mount and the phone didn't stop ringing on it. So eventually we'll probably stock a couple of those as well.
I just thought about, I know the interior of the cabs, I think haven't they enlarged those pretty significantly and kind of designed that whole thing with the driver first technology to make them super
Correct,
comfortable?
and that includes everything from a heated and air conditioned seat for a dump truck operator.
Wow.
Thinks that's awesome. Plus
Yeah.
the diamond stitch on the
Yeah.
leather wrap steering wheel, and one of the interesting things, especially here in the Midwest, is how fast the windshield thaws. In the freezing rain and early morning startup, and it's got a powerhouse of a HV system that people take for granted.
Right. And aren't, like, when you, the door handles, they're like extra wide so that people with thick gloves can open them? I remember.
All the buttons are the same.
Yeah.
Wide, easy
Yeah.
to read, laser etched buttons.
Right.
Everything is
Backlit.
easily
So it's
accessible.
really driver focused.
It's
100%.
absolutely
driver
yeah.
comfort. This is
Definitely.
like the Cadillac of the
Yeah.
work truck.
Yeah, and we're after that business. We had that business for a while, several years ago, and we lost some momentum as a company. And now with Traton driving the high value, we want to be the leader, not the fast follower. It's time to, as a sales group, go back and say we have something we're proud to sell.
Yeah, well, I think that's indicative of Trivista companies in general. Since the merger, there's been a lot of focus on just high-quality products, extremely conscientious customer service,
Service-oriented.
and excellent service back in our back in our service bays, hiring the best quality technicians and all of that. So this is a good fit for our company.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, both very much. I've enjoyed talking with you and learning more about the extreme duty severe service truck, and can't wait to see some more come on our lots.
Good.
Thanks, Anita.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys. Appreciate it very much. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of the Truck Talk with Trivista podcast. You can find more podcast talks or just general information about Trivista Companies and its many dealerships at trivistacompanies.com. Until next time, be safe out there.